special treat at the end of our story that I'm going to share if you guys are super good. Okay? Okay, all right. But before you get that super special treat, do you know what you have to do?
Yeah.
You have to be super good. Okay, so I need everybody sitting up straight. Up straight, up straight.
And don't be bad. And don't get a color
see
change.
that.
And
Okay.
don't get a color change.
Don't get it. I need you to sit up straight. I need crisscross applesauce. I need your hands in your lap and your eyes on me. Okay?
Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce. Okay. So, is everybody ready now?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay, so today, the story that I have for us to read is a fictional book. Does anybody know what? That's a big word, fiction. Have you ever heard that word before?
No.
Okay, fiction is a story that isn't true. Can everybody say fiction?
Fiction.
And it means a story that isn't true. Okay, can everybody say a story that isn't true? So the book we read today is not a true story, okay? So let's remember that while we read. Okay, so before we really get going, we've got some magic words to learn. Okay, do you guys know why magic words are? Well, see, that's the thing. We've got to learn our magic words. Do you guys know why our magic words are important?
I can't see.
Okay, our magic words are important. So what did I say about our surprise? We've got to sit up and look.
Sit up and look at you.
Very good, Emily. Okay, so our magic words.
Put your hands like that.
Very good, Xavier.
And they'll get a color change.
Very good. Okay, so we're looking at our magic words. Our magic words are important.
Crisscross applesauce.
Santel, can you pay attention, buddy?
Yes.
Our magic words are important because they're going to show up in our story later.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to know where they're coming from. So let's go over our very first word. So I have your attention? Can you turn up here and look?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Our first word is moaned. Can everybody say moaned?
Moan.
And moan means to make a long sound. Can everybody say to make a long sound? So a moan would be like, oh. Oh. Okay, so like when you woke up this morning and it was raining really bad and you're like, oh. Did anybody wake up and say, oh, it's raining? They just kind of moan. Yeah, did anybody do that? Maybe. Okay, so to help us think about moan, everybody eyes on me? Okay, moan. This guy, I thought he looked like he was moaning. He was just like, oh, like he had just like maybe lost a game and he was just, oh, he moaned. So what does moan mean? Moan, to make a long sound. Can everybody say it? To make a long sound. Very good, boys and girls. Okay, so I'm going to kind of sit that right there. We'll see if we can get that to sit right there. Okay, let's go over our next one. Are we ready for our next one?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, I'm glad you're ready. Jakari, I love the way that you're sitting there paying attention to me. Our next word is perfect. Can everybody say perfect?
Perfect.
Very good. Perfect means there is nothing wrong with it.
Perfect.
Perfect. Can everybody say there is nothing wrong with it?
Nothing wrong with it.
Okay, let's say it all together. Perfect. There is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it. Very good, very good. Okay, so I thought about perfect. I thought about a beach.
Yeah.
And it's perfect, it's beautiful. Can you sit down for me tonight? We're working for our special surprise, right? Yeah. Okay, so a perfect beach. So it's a perfect site. It is. So this would be my perfect vacation. Means there wouldn't be anything wrong with going to the beach. I love the way that you're paying attention, Xavier. You're doing a great job with that.
Me too.
Okay, can someone raise their hand and tell me something that they think would be perfect?
The umbrella.
Something that they think would be perfect. Put your thinking caps on a minute before you tell me. What would be perfect to you? I need a quiet hand. Demi.
Umbrella.
So an umbrella would be perfect for a rainy day? Okay, that's good. All right, Jakari. Remember what we're working for, boys and girls. If we're sitting on our bottoms, we get a special surprise later.
A tote.
A what?
A tote.
A tote?
Coat.
A coat. perfect for a rainy day? Okay, so that would be perfect for a rainy day. All right, so let's look at our next word. We'll see if Miss Elgin can get that to sit right there. I don't know if they will or not. Okay, here's our next word. Zariel, are you paying attention to me? Can you help me with this next word? Can you say windowsill?
Windowsill.
Windowsill. Can everybody say windowsill?
Windowsill.
Very good, boys and girls. And that is the space around a window. Can everybody say the space around a window?
A space around a window.
Sit up. Remember, boys and girls, we are working for our special surprise. And if everybody isn't paying attention to Miss Elgin, then we're not going to be able to get that special surprise. And it's really cool. Okay? All right. Yes, Xavier. Yes. Okay, so let's go over windowsill again. Windowsill.
Windowsill.
The space around a window.
The space around a window.
Can anybody look at me and raise their hand and point to a windowsill in our classroom? Chastity. Over there. So it's the space around the window. So like right here where our cubby is, where we do our reading, that's like a windowsill. Okay, so I even brought another picture for that. The space right here, that's a windowsill. Can everybody say windowsill again? Okay, and what is a windowsill?
Good job.
The windows on the bottom.
The space around the window. Very good, Chastity. Can everybody say that together?
The space around the window.
Very good. You guys are doing great job.
We're almost into the
We're almost to the last word. Okay. Our next word is kind of strange. It's paper mache.
Paper mache.
Very good. I love how you guys are all saying that together. You are doing such a wonderful job. Okay. It is a paper and glue mix used for art. Okay, so let's say that together. Paper mache. A paper and glue mix used for art. Okay, can somebody tell me what paper mache is? Zariel, what is paper mache?
Paper mache is kind of paper, but it is paper cut.
Not quite. We just read our definition for that. It's a paper and glue mix used for art. Okay? So can we say that together? Paper mache. A paper and glue mix used for art. Very good, boys and girls. Okay, so Miss Elgin has a picture for paper mache so that we know what paper mache kind of looks like. Do you see that?
Yeah, you know what it was.
You did. Have you guys used it in art class before?
Yeah.
No? Okay, well, when Miss Elgin was in elementary school, we made paper mache angels for Christmas trees. And we took strips of newspaper and we dipped it in the glue and in the mess. And then we made an angel out of it, and it was so beautiful, but it was sticky and it was gooey and it was messy. So paper mache, okay? So that's what paper mache looks like, boys and girls. Everybody see that?
Apple.
Well, we're not doing that. That's a good connection, though, Emily. Okay, so Miss Elgin put a picture of an apple in this box. But then where did it go in this box?
Apple.
Did it?
Apple tray.
Well, we're going to find out maybe something that will help explain that.
We're down to the last one.
We are. Our last word is vanished. Can everybody say vanished?
Vanished.
Vanished is
Vanished.
to disappear. Can everybody say to disappear?
To disappear.
Very good. I love how you all are paying attention. Denai, you are sitting and you are paying attention. You're looking at me. I love that so much. Okay, so Miss Elgin made this picture to show that an apple was in this picture on this side, and then over here it vanished. It disappeared. Has anything ever vanished for you guys? Like maybe your coat. You knew you had your coat, and then all of a sudden it vanished.
Yeah. My shirt vanished.
Your shirt vanished. Sometimes that happens. Things just
My rabbit.
I love the way Xavier is sitting, raising his hand. Oh my goodness. Okay, boys and girls. So these are all of our magic words. And Miss Elgin's pictures aren't going to stay up here, but we'll just have to hold on to them all together. So let's go through our words one more time. Okay, so our first word was moaned. And it was like a, oh. Can we say oh? Okay, and this was the picture that we had to go with moaned. Okay? So it was to make a long sound. Can everybody say that?
To make a long sound.
Moaned. Very good. Okay, our next word was perfect. Perfect. Can everybody say perfect?
Perfect.
Very good. There is nothing wrong with it. And we had, Miss Elgin showed you the picture of the beach, right?
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, and then windowsill. Can everybody say windowsill?
Windowsill.
The space around a window. And you guys remembered that, and we showed this picture, right? And then we also connected that we have a windowsill in our classroom where we do reading. Okay, and then our next picture was paper mache, a paper and glue mix used for art. Can we say that? And glue mix used for art. Very good. I love the way you're all saying that, and I love the way that you guys are sitting on your bottoms. Crisscross applesauce. Okay, and then our last word was vanish. Can we say vanish again? Very good. And that means to disappear. Very good. Okay, boys and girls. So now that we went over all of our words, well, we're going to read about those words, and then we're going to work on getting our treat. Because our treat also has something to do with our story. Yes, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's look at our book. Okay, so let's look at this. Can we see? Can we sit up and make sure that we're paying attention? Hands in our lap. Crisscross applesauce. Eyes on me. Okay, very good. All right, so today the title of our story is Perfect Pumpkin Pie. Perfect Pumpkin Pie. Okay, so far we have learned about pumpkins, right? So like pumpkins like this? We learned about pumpkins? Okay, so did you guys know that you can make pumpkin pie from pumpkins?
You did the pumpkin stuff out and then you put it in the
Exactly. That's a very good connection. I'm glad that you knew that, Emily, and I love the way that you're paying attention and listening to Miss Elgin. Okay, so today, now that we're going to continue to go through our story, and we've looked at pumpkins, and we're going to talk about pumpkin pie. But Miss Elgin also wants to bring something to your attention. Do you see this person on the front of our cover? Yeah. Okay. Do you think he's going to be in our story? Yeah? Do you think he's going to be in the story? Okay, a person in our story is a character. Can everyone say character? Very good. I love the way you guys are all speaking together when I ask you things. Okay, so can we say a character is a person in our story? Ready, go. Character is a person in a story. Very good, very good. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Okay, so pumpkin pie. Today we're going to talk about connections. What connections do we have? Does anybody know what a connection is yet?
I know.
Do you? Can you tell me?
Connection to your eye.
Okay, well, a little bit. Let's go more in depth with that. A connection is something that you know from previous experience. Okay? So, Miss Elgin has previous experience to pumpkin pie because every Thanksgiving, my family has pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving dinner. So that's a connection, okay? So let's go through and we're going to do a book walk. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I'm so excited. Okay, so we're just going to look at this page here. Here's a man. Okay, and he looks like he's sitting at a dinner table. And he looks like maybe he's waiting for food or eating food. I bet he's waiting for food. And so I can make a connection with that because Miss Elgin has sat at a table before, and maybe you go to a restaurant and you sit at a table and you wait for your food and you kind of get grumpy because you're hungry.
I don't.
Miss Elgin does. And so I remember one time my family went out to dinner and we waited for an hour for food and we were so grumpy because we were hungry. So that's a connection that Miss Elgin has with this picture right here.
I want to
Okay, wait just a minute, okay? All right, and then let's look at this page. This right here says One Halloween Night. One Halloween Night. So do you think that our story is going to take place on Halloween night?
Yes.
Okay, what do we know? Let's see. I remember something about Halloween. a connection that I have with Halloween is when I was a little girl, about your age, I dressed up as a princess for Halloween.
My sister.
She's going to be a princess. Do you guys have connections with Halloween? Leah, I love the way that you raise your hand. You're going to be Elsa, so that's a connection that you have with Halloween. Okay? What else? Let's see how much we can pay attention. I love how Demi's sitting paying attention with her hands in her lap. Okay. And so let's look at this picture. And I love how Xavier is sitting there quietly and looking at Miss Elgin. Let's look at this. It looks like it's snowing in this picture, right? It is. And there's a for sale sign.
No.
Huh. I wonder what that's going to have to do with our story. You know, Miss Elgin has a connection with a for sale sign. When I was a little girl, my brother was born, we had a tiny, tiny house. And when my little brother was born, we had to move. So there was a for sale sign that went outside in my front yard. So that's a connection that Miss Elgin has with a for sale sign. Have any of you guys seen a for sale sign before? Raise your hand.
I have.
Okay, maybe someone can tell me where they've seen the for sale sign? Anybody remember? Xavier?
In front.
In the front, so maybe you've seen it on a vehicle or on a house. Okay, that's very good. Oh, and then there's those words again. One Halloween night. So do you think maybe we're going to read about different Halloween nights? We're going to find out. Okay. Oh, who are these people? We haven't met them yet in our story. What did we say that people in a story were? Does anybody remember? What, Demi? A character. So we're going to introduce more people in our story. So we think that we're going to have the old man and then the two new characters. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we get ready to read. Oh, look, we've got a picture here of, maybe it's that same little boy and grandma that was on the other page, and they're standing over a pie. Do you see that? Yeah. Okay, so I have a connection with my grandma and pie. Because when I was a little girl, my grandma used to make chocolate pie every week. And she would invite me over for a yummy snack. So, I always look forward to chocolate pie with my grandma. So maybe that has something to do. Maybe the little boy has a special memory with this. And I wonder what that has to do with our story. What do you think it has to do? Do you think there's going to be pie in our story? Yeah? Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, boys and girls, let's look right here. What does that look like?
A pumpkin.
A pumpkin patch, doesn't it? Because there's lots of pumpkins right there. You see an owl? Okay, so a pumpkin patch. I love the way that Elena is sitting in front paying attention, looking at me. So, the pumpkin patch. Has anybody been to a pumpkin patch before? What did you see at the pumpkin patch, Demi? What did you do? You picked a pumpkin, so that's your connection to a pumpkin patch. Is you got a pumpkin. Very good. Well, wonderful. That's great. Shh. Okay. And then, oh, I love this picture. This is cool. Do you see that yummy pie sitting on the? What is that pie sitting in? What was one of our magic words?
Window.
Window what?
Windowsill.
Very good. I love the way that you paid attention and answered that. So, this pie is sitting in the windowsill. Do you think maybe the pie is sitting there to cool?
No.
Do you think the pie is sitting there to cool maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a connection with that because when I bake cookies, I sit them like on a bar window in my house to cool. So that's a connection that I have. Okay. Oh, and then we look over here. We see those words again. One Halloween night. So do you think that our story is going to take place on Halloween night? Yes, very good. Okay, boys and girls. Well, can you sit there? We'll talk. Okay, you can go. All right. So, boys and girls, are we ready to start reading our story?
Yeah.
Okay, and so we know that our story is about pumpkin pie, right? And we've made connections about pumpkin pie, and Miss Elgin has talked to you about that, and we've talked about some of our characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so before we start reading, I want to go over our wonderful magic words one more time. Can we do that? Yes.
It's a treat.
And then I'm going to show you your treat. How's that sound?
Yay!
Okay. All right. So now we have moaned. Okay, so can we say that word again?
Moan.
To make a long sound.
To make a long sound.
Wonderful. I love how you're reading together.
Perfect.
There is nothing wrong with it.
There is nothing wrong with it.
Windowsill.
Windowsill.
The space around a window.
A space around the window.
Very good. You guys are doing such a good job. Paper mache.
Paper mache.
A paper and glue mix used for art.
A paper and glue mixer for art.
Very good, boys and girls. Okay, and then our last word was vanished.
Vanish.
To disappear.
Disappear.
Oh, very good. I'm so proud of each of and every one of you. You were doing so great. Okay, so since Miss Elgin is going to read you a story about pumpkin pie, I thought it was only fitting to bring us a snack of pumpkin pie.
I like pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin pie.
So what do we have to do while Miss Elgin reads? And hands in our lap and pay close attention. And what I want you to do, I want you to think about pumpkin pie so we know what pumpkin pie looks like, right? And it's a perfect pumpkin pie, kind of like what our story, perfect pumpkin pie. Okay, and so if you hear any of our, boys and girls, if you hear any of our magic words while we're reading, and we went over those, moaned, perfect, windowsill, paper mache, and vanished, I want you to raise your hand. And that just lets Miss Elgin know that you heard a magic word, okay? So can anybody tell me one of our magic words? Chastity? Words we're listening for. One of the words that we just went over. Jakari?
Windows.
Very good. Aaliyah? Vanished. To disappear. Very good. Okay. Xavier? Moan. Very good. Chastity? So we've said moan, and we've said windowsill, and we've said vanish, and what, Zariel?
Paper mache.
Paper mache, that's a very good one. And then Chastity, did you have one more word for us? What was it? It was a connection that we made with the beach.
Perfect.
Perfect. Can you say perfect? Very good. I love how you come up with that. Okay, so now in order to get our snack later, we have to sit on our bottoms and listen. And we're going to raise our hand when we hear magic words, right? We'll work something out, okay? All right. So, perfect pumpkin pie. Are we ready? One Halloween night, wind stirred the leaves in the pumpkin patch outside the old Wilkerson house. Inside, old man Wilkerson sat waiting. Hurry up, he grumbled. Miss Wilkerson took a pie out of the oven and set it down on the table. About time, said the old man. He stared at the pie with his one good eye. It was a perfect pie, round and brown as toast. He said. Put his thumbs up. He said, I does love perfect pumpkin pie. Did anybody hear any of our magic words? What'd you hear, Chastity?
Magic.
Anybody want to tell me?
Perfect.
Demi, what'd you hear?
Perfect.
Perfect. Very good, Santel. I love the way you heard that. Okay, so perfect was one of our words. So we're talking about the pie. And then was the man grumpy as he was waiting for food? Yes, he was grumpy. Okay, so why was he grumpy? I love how Demi's paying attention. I love how Demi's paying attention.
He didn't have no food.
Okay. And so he didn't have his food, so he was waiting. All right? So very good. Let's keep reading. Mrs. Wilkerson cut a slice of the pie and put it on a small plate. She held the steamy pie under Mr. Wilkerson's nose. After we pass on, she said in her sweetest voice, there will be no more pie. Ha! Shouted the old man, grabbing the plate. Then I ain't going. He stabbed the pie with his fork, but just as he raised it to his mouth, he froze. Ah! He gasped and died. So Old Man Wilkerson, the old man in our story, our character, he died. Let's keep reading to see what finds out. Okay. That same night, by the light of the Halloween moon, Mrs. Wilkerson buried Mr. Wilkerson in the pumpkin patch. The next day, she put the house up for sale and moved away. She was never heard from again. I wonder what happened to her. Of course, no one ever heard from Mr. Wilkerson again either. He was, after all, dead. Or was he? So Mr. Wilkerson died, right?
Yeah.
And Mrs. Wilkerson leaves. She moves away. Okay, so that's why we saw the for sale sign. Okay, and remember Miss Elgin's connection is my family moved away. It's 2. One Halloween night, a few months after Jack and his grandmother had moved into the old Wilkerson house, something rose out of the pumpkin patch. There, said Jack. See it? Grandma looked out the window. Just a wisp of fog, she said. It looks like a ghost, said Jack. No, it's in the apple orchard. Grandma took her pie off the windowsill and closed the window. I think everyone loves a good pumpkin pie, she said. It's coming this way, cried Jack. Listen. The porch steps creaked, and the screen door banged, and an icy wind filled the kitchen. Did you guys hear any of our magic words?
I heard one.
What did you hear, Zaria?
I heard window.
Windowsill? You did. Very good. That's very good. That is
I
one of our
heard
words.
a pumpkin pie.
Okay, let's keep reading. It's a ghost, Jack gasped. Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkin pie. I must have one before I die. It must be round and brown as toast, or I'll hunt this house a hungry ghost. It must be perfect, or a ghost I'll stay and haunt this house and never go away. Uh-oh. So Mr. Wilkerson, he came back a ghost.
And why is there a book on it?
Now, what magic word did you hear? Perfect, very good. Good observation.
Because he had his knife and then he put his knife in the pork chop and he put it all in his mouth.
Very good.
Then he died.
All right, let's keep reading.
Clear.
Grandma put her hands on her
Clear.
hips. Oh, stop all that moaning. What word did you hear?
Moaning.
Very good.
Clear.
Stop all that moaning, she said to the ghost. Sit down and have some pie. The ghost pointed at the pie. That pie ain't perfect. It looks like paper mache.
I had a word.
What'd you hear?
Paper mache.
Very good, Zariel. It looks like paper mache. That pie's insulting to a pie gourmet. Why, if I was alive, I'd have a pie degree. I'd be a professor of pie with a PhD. I knows me pumpkins, so you's better comply and make me a perfect pumpkin pie. What did you hear, Xavier?
Perfect.
Perfect, very good.
You gotta say perfect.
The ghost whirled and twirled through the kitchen. Pots fell from the cupboards. Dishes crashed on the floor. The screen door banged and the ghost vanished. What'd you hear? Vanish. What does that mean? What is it? To disappear. Very good. Okay, so has anybody ever banged on pots and pans?
Bang, bang, bang,
All right, I want you to bang on the floor and make noise. Bang, 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 bang. Very good. Okay, so look up at me. The ghost made all that kind of noise as he vanished through the kitchen. He disappeared, and he made lots of noise when he did it. Let's keep reading and see what finds out. Okay. Remember what we're working for, boys and girls. Hands in your lap. Eyes on me. Jack ran to the window. He's gone. He'll be back, said Grandma. What? Aren't you afraid? asked Jack. Why, said Grandma. He's nothing but cold smoke. He's a ghostly fuss budget with an appetite for a good pie. He didn't like your pie, said Jack. Well, he'd better like the next one, said Grandma. We'll show the old fuddy-dud what a perfect pie is all about. We'll make a fuddy-duddy pie, said Jack. We'll show him. I love how you guys are paying attention. It just makes me happy. When the pie was baked, Grandma took it out of the oven and set it on the windowsill. Look at that pie, she said. It's round and brown as toast. Outside, a wisp of fog rose from the pumpkin patch. He's back, said Jack. Listen. What words did you guys hear? You raise your hands. What did you hear?
I have a post.
Perfect. What did you hear, Summer?
I was late for the bus.
Okay. He's coming back. Okay, Jakari? Perfect. Very good. Okay, boys and girls, remember what we're working for. Let's back on focus. Look up here. Eyes on me. Eyes on me. Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkin pie. I must have one before I die. It must be round and brown as toast, or I'll hunt this house a hungry ghost. It must be perfect, or a ghost I'll stay and haunt this house and never go away.
And no, I'll go away.
The porch steps creaked, the screen door banged, an icy wind filled the kitchen. Don't you ever knock, said Grandma, cutting the pie. Sit down. He poked the pie, he smelled the pie, he tasted the pie. No, he moaned. This pie ain't perfect. There's things a-missing. Pay attention, don't you listen? A pumpkin pie without whipped cream, it's enough to make a dead man scream. This pie is bland, it's underdone. Next time, please, more cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon goes in pumpkin pies.
The spicy.
I do.
The ghost whirled and twirled through the kitchen. Pots fell from the cupboard. Dishes crashed on the floor. The screen door banged and the ghost vanished. Grandma tasted the pie. Very good. I love that. Awesome. I love how you bring that attention. Okay, back up here. Very good. Grandma tasted the pie. You know, she said it could use a little more cinnamon. All right, boys and girls, hands in our laps.
We're working on that tree.
We are working on that tree. After Grandma and Jack cleaned up the kitchen, they made another pie. When the pie was baked, Grandma took it out of the oven and set it on the windowsill. Soon, a wisp of fog rose out of the pumpkin patch.
The ghost coming
See,
back.
oh, that's very good. See, it's right there in the windowsill.
And the
Everybody's,
ghost is coming back.
and the ghost is coming back.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins pie. I must have one before I die. It must be round, it must be brown as... Yeah, said Grandma, opening the screen door. We've heard it all before. Sit down and have some pie. The ghost sat down. He looked at Jack. He looked at Grandma. He looked at the pie. His eye grew bigger and bigger than a ping pong ball. Now that's a handsome pumpkin pie. Even I can see it with my ghostly eye. But looks ain't all. Taste the measure. It's inside that counts. There's the pleasure. It's got to be perfect, a perfect endeavor, or a ghost I'll stay and haunt you forever. I love the way you guys are looking at me and paying attention. The ghost stabbed the pie with a fork. He raised a piece to his mouth, and then he ate another and another. And soon the pie was gone. His eyes grew big as a baseball. The eye looked at Jack. The eye looked at Grandma. Perfect, he moaned, and vanished.
I heard one. I got one. I heard one. I heard.
Aaliyah, what word did you hear? Moaned. Jakari, what word did you hear?
Moan.
Moaned. What other word did you hear, Demi? Moaned and
I know.
vanished. Very good.
I had
All right, let's see what happens next.
I had perfect.
Jack and Grandma went to bed. Except for Grandma's snoring, the house was quiet. Outside the apple orchard, cast long black shadows in the light of the moon. The pumpkin patch was still. Mr. Wilkerson was quiet. He was, after all, dead. Really, really dead. Or was he? Okay, so you guys remember what we said about the pumpkin patch, the connections we had with that? You guys have been to the pumpkin patch and gotten pumpkins? All right, let's see what happens next. One Halloween night. Remember what we're working for, boys and girls? One Halloween night. We've read those words before, haven't we? Grandma took a pie out of the oven and set it on the windowsill. I hope that's not a pumpkin pie, said Jack. Remember what happened last year? It's apple pie, said Grandma. Pumpkin pies attract nothing but trouble. Jack put 2 plates on the table. Grandma took a warm pie off the windowsill, and something moved in the moonlight. A wisp of fog rose in the pumpkin patch. Uh-oh, said Grandma. Listen, said Jack.
No.
What do you guys think's going to
I
be?
know we're there.
We're almost...
No. The pie. We'll be a vampire.
Let's read and find out. Hands in our lap, bottoms on the floor, eyes on me.
He almost got it.
Apples, apples, apple pie. I must have one before I die. It must be round, it must be brown as toast, or I'll hunt this house a hungry ghost. It must be perfect or a ghost I'll stay and haunt this house and never go away.
I'm dead.
Grandma looked at Jack. Jack looked at Grandma. I'll set another plate, said Jack.
Yay!
You didn't like that ghost?
I don't like the ghost.
He's creepy.
He's creepy.
But we know, what kind of story did I say this was? A fiction story? Did anybody remember what that means?
I know.
What, Emily?
It means that's not true.
It means it's not true. Very good, Aaliyah. Can somebody tell me what connections that you made within our story?
I know.
What is something that you made with the pie?
You have pie at your house.
For Thanksgiving. I'm so glad you remember that connection. That is great. Okay, boys and girls, we are almost ready for our treat. We are almost ready for our treat. Okay, Miss Elgin has a few questions for you guys. Was our story true?
No.
It was fiction, right?
Fiction.
Did the ghost come back at the end?
No. Yeah.
Yes, because she put an apple pie in the windowsill.
He likes.
And he just likes pie. It doesn't matter if it's pumpkin or apple. Okay?
Or shell.
Or cherry.
What certain day did the ghost seem to come back on?
Or tater. I know.
Can I have everybody eyes on me? 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Boys and girls.
Or a vegetable.
Summer,
Or vegetable pie.
Kalia. I love how Lucas is looking at me paying attention.
I'm afraid.
He's definitely going to get a treat.
It don't know.
We're going to work on it, okay? All right. So, was there a certain day that the ghost seemed to come back on? Chastity?
I know tonight.
What day did he come back on? It's a day that's coming up. Demi?
It don't hurt.
Halloween. Very good. All right. What type of pie? Ooh, I love when you raise your hand. What type of pie did the ghost like? Did Mr. Wilkerson's ghost like? What, Summer?
He liked the brown pie.
He liked a round, brown pumpkin pie. Okay, very good. What was this sound that Mr. Wilkerson's ghost kept making in our story? It was our very first magic word.
I know.
What word? What, Zariel?
Oh.
What was that sound? What word was that? Moan. He would moan. Okay? How did the pie have to be made every time? What type of pie would only Mr. Wilkerson eat?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Very good, Santel.
And fruit pie.
Okay. What if the pumpkin pie wasn't perfect? What would the ghost do?
Stay
Raise your hand.
there forever.
No, he'd haunt them forever. What would he do if the pie wasn't perfect?
Hunt them forever.
He would crash through the kitchen and vanish. Vanish. Okay. Very good. Can we go over our magic words one last time?
Yeah.
And then we'll distribute our treats and we'll go back to our seat, okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's go through our words. Zariel, are you ready to help me?
Yes.
Okay, moan.
Moan.
To make a long sound.
To make a long sound.
Perfect.
Perfect.
There is nothing wrong with it.
There is nothing wrong with it.
Windowsill.
Windowsill.
The space around a window.
Space around the window.
Paper mache.
Paper mache.
A paper and glue mix used for art.
A paper and glue mix out.
Vanished.
Vanished.
To disappear.
To disappear.
Very good, boys and girls. Okay, if I can get everyone to go back to their seat, and then I need a volunteer. Summer?
I got the sun.